If you are looking for a career that will bring you fulfillment and joy in the years to come, and certainly share your talents with other people, perhaps you have considered getting into the nursing field, but perhaps you're a little bit discouraged because it can be such a competitive entry point and can sometimes cost quite a bit of money as well. So we're very happy to have our next guest on the show, and she's happy to be here. This is Dean Tammy Dean, who is with Lincoln Memorial University. You're housed kind of on that Kentucky-Tennessee line.
Yes, we are.
As your headquarters, but y'all are expanding, and you've recently come to Chattanooga.
We have. We were approached about 2.5 years ago by Erlanger, and they asked us to bring our nursing program here.
I like you were sharing a little bit with me, because every place, every school, every business, everybody has a philosophy of kind of what guides them, their own mission statement.
Exactly.
But you as a person, as well as Lincoln Memorial, seem to be very driven by this belief that everybody should have a chance to find success, and that you should not be determined for what you want your goals to be as an adult by your performance in high school.
Well, absolutely, and that is part of our mission. Of course, we're a living legacy to Abraham Lincoln, and you know, we want to give students an opportunity. And that may look like a high school graduate. It may look like a 35-year-old mom who's decided, I want to go back to school. So that is a big part of our mission.
You know, I'm glad you brought up the 35-year-old mom, because I think that these last several years have really given people kind of a centering point where they've been in one line of work and they want something that's totally different. And they might think, but it's too late for me. Your point is it's not too late.
No, absolutely it's not. And we want to help guide that student on that path.
So at Lincoln Memorial, here you are, courted by Erlanger to come here. You've opened up at the bottom of the Unum building for classes. So not only are you wanting it to be welcoming in for people, you also want to not waste their time once they're a student. So you're on this very fast track.
We are. We are offering our BSN program, and it is an accelerated in terms of a calendar. So they come in the fall, then they go spring, summer, fall. So our students coming in fall of 23 will graduate December of 24.
So you had told me that your students, though, in order to make that accelerated timeline, need to come to you with their prerequisites kind of already behind them, right?
Yes, they do. And that would be about 60 hours of prerequisites in the math, sciences, humanities.
Okay, so that if they were a recent graduate, high school graduate, and they wanted to try doing the Tennessee Promise and go and get those prerequisites for the 2 years for free, then they can transition to you. Is that right?
Exactly. Yes.
So, you know, I'm going to get in the weeds with you a little bit here, and if you don't know, that's fine.
Yeah.
But back to the 35-year-old mom. If you've got some college behind you, can those classes possibly come your way?
Oh, yes. The only ones that have a restriction on them would be your sciences, like your anatomy and physiology, your microbiology. But we would work with the student. We would look at those grades. And, you know, typically we want them to be about no more than 7 years old.
Okay.
But we would look at that on an individual basis.
On the grades perspective, I mean, of course, all of us at some point will all be a patient.
Yeah.
So we want the nurses that come our way to be as highly trained and capable as possible. But a grade is not always an indicator of what a person really knows.
No, you know, when I was in the clinical area with students, when I was more in the classroom, you know, I would have that student that was a low B, but boy, they were great in the clinical area. And I would much rather have those by my bedside than that A student that, you know, wasn't necessarily so great in the clinical area.
So if you've had this dream, and the idea I think most of us have about nursing school is the rigors of it.
Right.
And you think, I'd love to do it, but I'm not sure I really could, or I couldn't get in. You might be the very one for them to talk to.
Well, absolutely. And as I told you, we have great sister schools here in the Chattanooga area, and we just want to be another option for students. And so that's really what we're touting out there with students.
We also know, unless you're not paying attention, that there is a nursing shortage. So
is.
talk a little bit about the heart of it. You mentioned your time in clinical practice. You must get in your car every day, sometimes feeling drained, but always feeling like you helped somebody.
Well, absolutely. You do. I was actually an oncology nurse before I went into education. But, you know, burnout is a big issue with nurses, and that's why we have a lot of nurses leaving nursing. Of course, COVID didn't help matters.
Right.
We lost nationwide about 100,000 nurses because of COVID. It's predicted in the next 4 years, we're going to be close to 1 million nurses short. No, I'm
Wow.
sorry. They're going to be leaving nursing, 1 million. And Tennessee, we're like 12,000 short in the next 2 years.
If you were somebody's watching and they're considering it, do you think there's one type of a personality trait that you need to have to be successful?
Oh gosh, perseverance, but also integrity. I just can't stress integrity enough.
Well, isn't that nice? So that you could call the number or go to the website you're about to see, and what they want is for you to be a person of integrity. That's a win right away, I think.
Absolutely.
So welcome to town. Classes will start in August.
Yes, they do.
So there is still time, if you have those prerequisites, to go ahead and give them a call and see about enrolling.
Yes.
Should they call or go on your website? Do you have a preference?
Probably the website is going to be the fastest.
Okay, then
Yeah.
here it is. It's LMU, Lincoln Memorial University, ET, right? Net. LMU
Net.
net. Sorry.
That's okay. .edu.
LMUNET.edu. They're right here in town, and you too can be a part of their next class. And by December of 2024, you'll be on the nursing floor.
We will. Or
Thank
they
you.
will.